Hi, today let's take a look at the two Japanese video game giants, Nintendo and Sony, with the help of Holt lens. First, when we look at the summary of two companies, we see that Nintendo has a 12% downside according to Holt valuation, while Sony has an 8% upside. It seems that Sony has already won the competition, but is that really the case? So let's look at some of the details. In terms of profitability, Sony definitely has a more stable margin and asset returns than Nintendo. As for operation, currently both companies have CFROI above their cost of capital. After recovering from the major setback in 2017, Nintendo has a higher CFROI while Sony is converging to its cost of capital. More surprisingly, the forecasted asset growth for Sony is close to zero, while Nintendo is at 6%. In recent years, Nintendo seems to be doing a better job than Sony, and we know the numbers for Sony are relatively stable, so the forecast of 8% upside is pretty convincing. So where did the 12% downside for Nintendo come from? In 2017, Nintendo had a big recovery, which was due to the release of a new product Switch, and that successfully boosted the company's performances. According to Holt Phase theory, the upward trend is likely to diminish very soon, and this resulted in a 12% downside. But does the fate really make sense here? The new product created a trend in CFROI and sales growth that is similar to the trend in 2004. And guess what? In 2004, Nintendo DS was released, and it was also a big hit. So it is acceptable to assume that the future forecast is going to resemble the trend from 2004 to 2008. And given that 2008 was the financial crisis, we can still be a bit more optimistic about Nintendo's future. Finally, we arrive at an upside of 8%, which is the same as Sony. So, after adjustments to the valuation, both companies have similar upsides. If you're looking for a defensive stock with stable return, Sony is definitely your choice. But if you want to invest in growth in the video game industry, Nintendo is actually a better option. And thank you, that's all for my presentation.